Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markel.
I had a couple of windows open there. I had the total number of countries in the world window open and had to shift over from that back to my show notes. Welcome one and all. Welcome all of you hippies who are listening to us on Google Play now. Do we get numbers from that?
Yeah.
Will we be getting numbers from that? Is it like a...
I'm going to look right now.
Okay. Hey, if you just found us on Google Play, congratulations and welcome to our world. Welcome to the age of enlightenment. That's what we're all about here. And if you've been here for a long time, you're like, yeah, we get it, Paul. We know who you are. Well, good. But keep in mind, every single day, there's somebody new listening. So I like to acknowledge that once in a while. And the reason that I was looking for the total number of countries, according to the interwebs and the great gods of the World Wide Web, there are 195 countries in the world, or 196, depending on who you ask. Because some countries don't recognize Taiwan as its own nation. China still claims ownership of Taiwan. So, depending on who you ask, there's 195 or 196. And we have been listened to, downloaded. The show has been downloaded, and Jared can check that because of the miracle of the computer. We've been downloaded and listened to in how many countries, Jared?
159.
159. So pretty much, like 85, 90% of the world, I guess, is listening to us. Something like that. Most of the English-speaking world. How's that sound?
It looks like I can... Oh, here we go. Listener activity report. Yes.
On
Google Play. We don't have that many on there yet.
I know that the Google Play thing is that they're rolling it out. They've done would you call it a soft launch or a hard launch, or what are they? How would you define it?
I would define it as I don't even know.
I'm
stuck on soft launch.
A soft launch.
I can't top that.
Regardless of how you got here.
Oh, the cool thing is that it has two stats. It has number of plays and number of downloads.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I think that they're still getting their stuff together on the stats side.
People are rolling it out. They're still rolling it out. I think some people are complaining that their device didn't have it, and they wanted to know why. And my answer is, I don't know.
For those of you that
I'm
are
not
wondering,
in charge of that.
For those of you that are wondering, EJ is just on a hiatus. He didn't quit.
He didn't quit?
He didn't quit the stuff. So
he's on a hiatus.
He can't put his stuff on the podcast until it airs on the radio. So you just have to wait for that.
Oh, he hasn't been airing on the radio? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, there you go. But the good news is there's 12 episodes up now, right?
13.
13. Okay. 13 episodes of the E.J. Owen Show on iTunes. So if you haven't caught them, you can go catch them. Speaking of the social media and the internet, if you guys have not gone over to gundistrict.com yet and followed us on the Student of the Gun page there, you really should. I know a lot of people out there are complaining about Zuckerberg and about Twitter and about all the anti-gun, anti-freedom social medias. And they're like, okay, well, I got that. I get that you don't like Facebook. But you still want to interact with like-minded individuals, don't you? Well, you're like, yeah, Paul, I do. Well, all right, it's super simple. Go to gundistrict.com and like the Student of the Gun page. We haven't quite reached 1,000 followers on our Gun District page yet.
Like followers? Which
is likes, followers, I don't know what they call them, thumbs ups, whatever. We haven't reached 1,000 yet, and that's freaking wrong. That I know that there's more than 1,000 of you listening right now.
You know who's on Gun District?
Who?
Luke Scoville, the kid that came in yesterday.
Oh, is he on Gun District?
Or 2
Oh,
days ago.
well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're listening, Luke, hi. There you go. I said your name on the radio. Now you can run around the house screaming. So. No, but seriously, for everybody out there that's in the gun world that complains about how much they hate Facebook and da-da-da, okay, we get that. So here's my challenge to you hippies. By this weekend, by the end of this weekend, Student of the Gun on Gun District, our page needs to have more than 1,000 likes. All right? How's that sound? Easy. Easy day. Duracoat, what? Now, don't forget, kids, well, actually, we just announced it yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever. We just announced it this week that we're going to be doing a Duracoat Student of the Gun gun tat contest. Go to Duracoat, go to LauerWeaponry.com, order yourself an official Student of the gun tattoo, and whatever colors or flavors float your boat, I don't care. Just, it's your world. I'm just living in it. And then do a project. Once you've done the project, take pictures of it, and the most interesting, unique, best looking, I don't care, something it's got to stand out. It's got to pop. But it also has to have the Student of the Gun tat on it. If it has the Student of the gun tattoo, we're going to pick one of you out there, and then we're going to contact you and bring you on the radio, and you're going to tell us why you did what you did.
I would like to see.
You're going to tell the whole English-speaking world.
I would like to see a Cold Steel like NCO sword that's painted. Except for you can't do that because
that would ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would ruin that.
Well, I mean, not that exact sword, but one that's shaped like that. Like, what's that type of sword called? I don't remember.
A saber?
Yes, that one.
Well, the Marine Corps NCO sword is a saber.
Okay.
The Navy's officer sword is a rapier. It's a double-edged pointed one, and a saber has a curve to it.
Yeah.
Hell,
I like those swords.
do a gladius.
So we just started
something.
watching Game of Thrones. Alex and I did.
Mm-hmm.
And she really does look like that Khaleesi chick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I didn't even. I was whoa.
you
You're on Game of
you
Thrones.
just got that, huh?
Yeah.
If you get her one of those long flowing drapey dresses.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would. You can get Duracoat products at LauerWeaponry.com, and Lauer is Lauer. Oh, and remember, don't eat Duracoat. It's not food grade.
You can do whatever you want.
Well, I mean, you can if you feel like it. I'm personally recommending against eating Duracoat.
The lawyer said we had to say.
The lawyer said you're not supposed to. All right, don't eat Duracoat. I'm just saying. If you go over to brownells.com, you can get Duracoat products, and you can also get ammo, which you should be. Now, people are like, well, how much ammo is enough? That's like saying, how much money is enough? Did anyone ever say, I wish I didn't have so much money? Someone come take this from me. It's like ammo. You're like, I wish I didn't have so much ammo. Said no one ever.
Well, what do you think you're going to need 10,000 rounds for?
Yeah, I don't know. But it doesn't matter. And the truth of the matter is, if you actually take training, if you go to a training class, a serious, no kidding, 2 or 3 day training class, you're going to go through 500 rounds in the class.
At least.
When I did John Farnham's class, it was 4 days on the range plus classroom time, and we easily went through over 1,000 rounds of ammo.
Yeah.
So if you're going to actually seriously train with a gun, you need 1,000 rounds. Is actually not that much. I know 1,000 seems like a lot, but it's not. Unless you're one of those people that just owns guns but doesn't shoot them. And
now
so if you own guns and use them as like collector's objects, then you don't need that much ammo.
Now you know, because you are a student of the gun, that Professor Paul gave you guys a checklist to complete. It's called the 1-box workout. You can take 50 rounds. If you don't have 1,000 rounds of ammo, you can take 1 box, 50 rounds, and complete his checklist, and it will benefit you more than...
It's a skill maintenance drill.
Yeah. It'll benefit you. I think that if you spend 1,000 rounds, if you expend 1,000 rounds, or 50, you can still get the same benefit.
No, you can't. Training. All right, this is one thing I want to point out. The one box workout is not training.
Right.
The one box workout is practice. It's skill maintenance. So you go to, let's say, you name it. You go to Gunsight, or you go to TDI, or you go to Tactical Response, and you do fighting pistol. All right, you leave there, and you've learned. You took the training. Now you know what you're supposed to do. If you go to a training class and think, okay, I'm good, I don't need to shoot anymore, or I don't need to shoot as much, or whatever. It's a physical skill and it's perishable. That'd be like who name your favorite quarterback? I don't know, John Elway, Brett Favre, whatever. Name your favorite quarterback.
Oh, he wasn't a quarterback.
Yeah, and your favorite quarterback, he throws a pass at the end of the last game of the season. Then he takes 3, 4, 5 months off. And he's like, I know how to throw a football. I went to football school. And I don't need to throw a football again until the season starts next year. Is that how professionals behave? They're like, I know how to throw. I already know how to throw a football. I don't need to practice. Can you imagine if your favorite waited until the first snap of the first game of the next season to throw a pass? Mm-hmm. Well, you're like, well, it'd be stupid, Paul. Of course they wouldn't do that. Duh. Because it's a physical skill.
I'm glad that you touched on that, because I've had people email us saying, well, why would I want to take your training class if I have this workout, this checklist, this one box workout that you provided me with? It's got videos and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but that's not.
The purpose of that is a skill maintenance drill. And unfortunately, Jared, and I didn't mean to talk about this, but hell, we got time. Unfortunately, a lot of people miss that part. That they go to a training class, whether it's a 1-day class, a 2-day, a week. It doesn't matter whether they did it as a cop or a soldier. They do that and they get their certificate, and they're super proud. They have a piece of paper with their name on it, and it says that they attended this thing, and they put it up on their wall, and they post pictures on Facebook with it and what have you, and they're super proud of it. And then they don't leave. That was something that Ken Hackathorn stressed. You remember during the 3-day class we had with Ken? That was something that he constantly stressed was drills. And he had different timed drills and different things that that he recommended that you practice after the class. I mean, we spent 3 full days with our friend Ken Hackathorn and some other folks up at Bill Wilson's ranch in Texas. It was about a dozen, maybe, Jared? About a dozen, maybe 14 guys and gals. And we shot handguns, and then we transitioned from handgun shooting to carbine rifle shooting. And we went through a really good amount of ammunition. We did a whole lot of drills. And at the end of the training session, we all felt pretty good about ourselves. Mm-hmm. We're like, yeah, man, we're gunfighters. Woo! But that's great. But that was for Jared and I, that was like 3 years ago. So do you just not do it? You don't do anything. And what a lot of people will do is they will go to the range and they will practice what they are good at. They'll practice what they feel most confident doing, what makes them look the best. When other people are watching them shoot their target, how am I going to look really cool? They run a target out at 7 yards, and they strong hand, two hands on the gun, and they shoot. They're like, ooh, look at that group. Woohoo! That's great. Everybody likes to do what they're good at, but you don't improve by doing what you're good at. You improve by forcing yourself to do what you're not good at. When years ago, season 2, I spent a lot of time with Max Michel, the fastest shooter and world speed shooting champ. And he said, during one of our segments, he said, my practice sessions are not fun. He said, because when I go out and practice, I make myself do what is most difficult. He says, people think that you're like, oh, man, I wish I was you. Man, I wish I had all that ammo and time. And, man, I wish I was you. I could just go out and shoot all day. And he goes, no, my practice sessions aren't fun. My practice sessions are work because this is what I do. That's like saying, I want to go to football practice, but only if it's going to be fun.
Yeah. The coach doesn't care about your feelings. So would you say that the hierarchy of training would be attend a professional training class?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's step one. And then you could dry fire and then maybe live fire at the range.
Well, you dry fire. Dry fire is something you can do any day. But the problem with dry firing is and why a lot of instructors look down on dry fire not because the act in and of itself is flawed, but because the way it's employed is flawed. You get people who think that just like snapping a trigger against a wall, pulling their gun out and snap.
That's why I was saying go to training first.
Yeah. They think that is dry fire.
I think a lot of people, they're like, oh, if I can't go to training, then I'll just go to the range and practice by myself, or I'll just do dry fire. I'm like, well, if you don't really know how to do it, then you're just giving yourself training scars.
Yeah, what people do is they'll go out and they're like, oh, I know how to make this gun work. I mean, I know how to put bullets in it, and I know how to make it make noise.
I got a dog, and I know how to pull the trigger, so why do I need training?
Yeah.
Somebody actually said that to me one time.
I have a dog?
I have a dog, so it'll distract the person.
And I know how to pull the trigger.
Assuming that you're at your house with your dog. And I know how to pull a trigger, so why
you know how to pull a trigger.
Why would I need training?
Well, congratulations. Okay. And you know what I say to that person? You don't. You can't convince, if someone has already convinced themselves not to do something, they've already given themselves the excuse. And this isn't just guns. This is life. Human beings love, do they not, Jared? They love to give themselves excuses not to do what's right.
Especially in the fitness space.
Oh, anything physical.
Yeah.
Why didn't you come to the gym yesterday? Oh, it was so nice. Oh, okay, cool. Why didn't you go to the gym yesterday? Oh, man, it was raining like hell. All right, so let me get this straight. You didn't go to the gym because it was raining and storming really bad. Yeah.
These are all real-life excuses, guys.
These are real things. Oh, it was so nice out. So you don't go to the gym when it's really nice out. You don't go to the gym when it's raining. Well, what is the magic formula? Like partly cloudy? I only go to the gym if it's partly cloudy and there's like a 15% chance of showers and it's a new moon. I'm waiting for that one. Why didn't you go to the gym yesterday? It was a full moon, and I don't train during full moon because the cycle of the tides, and I don't. I got one. Oh, I can't come to your training class because that's my hair appointment day. That was a real one.
Yeah. That's
my hair appointment day. Oh, well, everybody's got priorities in their life, right, Jared?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
SWAT fuel. SWAT fuel is a priority in my life.
SWAT fuel, it does a body good. Stronger minds, or sharper minds, stronger bodies. Bump. Go to SWATfuelstore.com. Use the promo code SOTG2015. You're going to save yourself some money.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
All right, for all of you doubting Thomases out there in the audience, and all of you who have, I know that if you're listening to me, that you have friends, relatives, and acquaintances that think that they're the most reasonable and enlightened people on earth, and that, I don't see why you bigots even care about this whole Target bathroom thing. Target is beginning to, we shared yesterday with you some insanity, and Target is beginning to reap the insanity that they have sown. Source, KMOV.com. Dateline, Brentwood, Missouri. An O'Fallon, Missouri man was arrested on April 23rd after allegedly secretly filming women in a Target dressing room.
Obviously, it wasn't so secretly.
Well, because remember, you can use whichever dressing room you identify with. If you can, the insanity of those. We're losing our minds. You know what's happening, Jared? And I really hope we're getting pushed. Push, poke the bear. The bear just wants to be left alone and sleep. But no, you hippies and liberals and idiots, you just got to keep poking him. Poke that bear. Thinking, I don't know why people poke the bear, thinking, because eventually the bear's going to get angry and he's going to rip your face off. But we're going to continue to poke him. Matthew Forrestal, 26, faces felony charges of invasion of privacy in the second degree, invasion of privacy in the second degree. Apparently in Missouri, there's like multiple levels of invasion of privacy. An unlawful possession of a firearm. You're like, ooh. The Brentwood Police Department arrested Forrestal on April 23rd after he allegedly held a camera phone under a dressing room door while a female shopper tried on swimsuits at a Target store in Brentwood. An officer went to Rankin Technical College to place Forrestal under arrest and reportedly found him in possession of a loaded handgun. It doesn't say whether it was semi-automatic or whether it was fully loaded, because we know that fully loaded semi-automatic handguns are the most dangerous ones in the world. Oh, but get this. This isn't the first run-in that this douche nozzle has had with the law. In 2013, Forrestal was convicted of invasion of privacy in St. Charles County for, quote, knowingly and intentionally filming an 11-year-old girl while she was partially nude inside a department store dressing room. Forrestal served a 1-year sentence for the offense in the St. Clair County Jail. Well, obviously, he has rehabilitated himself. So how do these creeps and perverts and lunatics gain access to your children? Well, they gain access to your children because people like the Target management don't have the stones to say, no, you're a dude, you can't go into the women's dressing room. But I guess that makes me a bigot and a homophobe and a xenophobe and all kinds of stuff. I don't know. So there you go, America. Just keep being weak. Keep being weak. All right, the main story for today is, this comes to us, this is so Farfignuganed up here. This is like, ugh. Makes me sick. But CNSnews.com, Pike County, Ohio Sheriff, if you are fearful, arm yourself. And there's something just absolutely horrible going on up in Ohio. Happened. It's still kind of ongoing because they haven't captured, as of recording time, as we record this, they haven't captured and arrested the perpetrators. Someone or someones went around and murdered 8 people in 3 or 4 separate locations. They were all family members. This was a targeted thing, but they haven't arrested the person yet. Well, during a news conference, Charles Reeder, the Pike County Sheriff, said, if you are fearful, arm yourself. And the reason that I dropped this in there is because why the Farfignugan aren't you already armed? I got an email. Jared, did you get the email from NRA yesterday morning, with this exact reference in it? It was from NRA. It says, NRA News, Pike County Sheriff says, arm yourself. And I'm over here. You know those memes from the internet? It's like, such and such said something, and I'm over here on my couch like, I wish a biatch would, you know. I'm wishing an MF-er would. People are like, you should, if you're fearful, you should arm yourself. And I'm over here in my glass case of emotion saying, what are you people waiting for? Where have you been? Why are we waiting Why do people have to why do citizens have to wait to be told by the sheriff that they should arm themselves? Do you know why that is, Jared? I don't get it.
Because it's a foreign concept.
I don't get it.
Everybody looks to the sheriff for protection.
It's like, why the farfignugan are you not already armed? And I guess that's my question to you. Now, I understand that there's a lot of you listening to me that are currently, that you're living in slave nations and slave states, and you can't because the commissar has forbidden you. And I'm sorry for you, and that's too bad. But for those of you who are living in free America, if you're not currently armed, as you hear the melodic tones of my voice as it drips into your ears, if you're not currently armed, why? Because I'm not paranoid like you. I'm not one of these crazy paranoid people like you. That's right. You're not one of those crazy paranoid people like me. Okay. So if your friends and neighbors and relatives and, people point out stories to you like this, they're like, did you see this? This is horrible. This is terrible. And you're like, yeah, it is. It is horrible. It is terrible. This is why we need not to have guns. Yeah, that's exactly it, because murder started with the invention of gunpowder. And we know that bad people will always follow the rules and disarm themselves. Do we know that? Oh, well, no, we don't. But suicides. Yeah, that's right. Suicide began with the invention of gunpowder. No. If you're not armed and you're listening to me right now, why is that? I know that some of you might be listening to me, in the European Union, and you can't be armed because the commissar has forbidden it. I get that. You're listening to me in a country that used to be free, but your neighbors and friends and relatives, they were so excited about being reasonable. They were so concerned about being reasonable citizens that they voluntarily surrendered all of their guns to the commissar. And now they have taken the position as tax slaves. I understand that. Understand this. If you're listening to me and you're one of the few people on planet Earth that is not that's not an employee of the state, and you have the opportunity to be armed, to be an actual armed citizen, and you're not, you're wrong. You need to fix yourself. Okay. It is Thursday, and because it's Thursday, well, what does that mean? Well, it means it's time for our Student of the Gun homeroom that's brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters.
What you gonna do when it all comes back to the place that you never wanted it to come back to? And where you gonna roll when the bottom drops out and you got no place to go? Who you gonna trust when trust is a must? You better roll with the rest of us. So pack your bags and all the faith you can, cause it's about ready to hit the fan. Come to the ready. 2012, all about the re-election of an antichrist. Come to the ready. You don't believe me, just look deep into the soul of the liar's eyes. Come to the ready. The Constitution of our nation is under attack.
Come on, come to the ready. And let's take a moment to acknowledge them. Jared, that's Madison Rising. And if you guys didn't know it, Madison Rising is the official rock band of Student of the Gun Radio. Our opening theme is Madison Rising, and that is Madison Rising. And if you're one of the few people on planet Earth that has never availed yourself to the Madison Rising version of the Star Spangled Banner, you're wrong, and you need to go ahead and do that right now. I'll wait.
Yeah, you can go to madisonrising.com and do that.
There you go.
Or just search it on Google or YouTube or Duckit.
Whatever, your favorite search engine. Ammo storage. We've talked about this previously, and we hit on it, it's been sometime during Student of the Gun Radio. We talked about ammo storage. If you're going to purchase ammo for your firearms, and you're going to purchase more than, one box at a time, which you probably should, you're going to want to store it. Now, the two primary enemies, I guess, of ammunition are basically the same enemies as anything metal, and that is heat or the elements, and moisture. What do the people always tell you? Where should you store things? You should store it in a cool, dry area, right? Cool, dry, cool shaded, whatever. Nobody ever tells you to store whatever in a hot, damp environment. How should I store this? You should store it in a hot, damp environment. That's the best way for you to store that, a hot, damp environment. No. And unfortunately, we live in a hot, damp environment. Even inside of our own homes, inside of our houses. I went over to the shelves the other day, Jared, and I pulled a leather holster that was actually just sitting on a shelf all by itself inside of the house. It wasn't sitting by an air conditioning vent, and it was already starting to show signs of mildew just from being in the house because, well, we live in the subtropics here. And if a leather holster gets some mildew on it, it's not the end of the world. If you have a whole bunch of ammunition and you open up the box and find out that it's corroded, you're not going to be a happy camper, are you? Now, what is the most important thing for you to protect on a cartridge of ammunition? And the answer is, ding, the primer. The outside can look like crap, and that's okay. I've had ammunition that was carried in security guns, or what they call in the military. They often call it security ammo. That's the ammo that you're allowed to actually have in a magazine, and it gets passed from one century to the next to the next. So it's not your ammo; it's the security ammo that's in the magazine, whether it's rifle or pistol. And every time somebody changes duty stations or changes duty, they give you that ammo. That's something that I used to do frequently when I was working with the military. Is I would these guys would come out with the quote security ammo. And did I ever tell you about that, Jared? No, about the security ammo and how it really bunged these guys up.
No.
Okay. The United States Navy, by policy, decided that when the students were transporting their unloaded M4 rifles from the base out to the range, because the training range was not on the base, that there needed to be one armed sentry per vehicle. And so what they would do is they'd go to the armory, and the armorers would issue them one magazine of M9 ammunition, right? And they were allowed to put it in their gun on a holster on their body. Now, they weren't allowed to have any rifle ammunition because that's dangerous. And when they would get to the range that morning, we would get the sentries, the security guys off the buses. There was one per bus, 3 buses usually. And I'd bring them up on line. And by policy, we had to have them take the security magazines out, right? And we started doing this, and I started looking at the ammo, and I realized that what they did is they got ammunition, loaded these magazines, and then they just left them loaded for a long time. And I flick a couple of rounds out in my hand, and the brass is not brass colored now. It's like turning brown. And so I said, well, this is bull crap. So I go over to the box, and I take it because we've got these big cans of training ammo, and it's M9 ball. It's the M885 or something like that, whatever the ball ammo is. And I just empty the mags out into the bulk lot of ammo, and then I go over to the brand new stuff, and the one guy's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm replacing the old ammo with new. We're going to shoot up the old ammo today during training, and I'm going to put brand new, just out of the box ammo in these. But those are the security rounds." You do understand that it was like, and this guy wasn't like a kid. He was like a petty officer, and he's like, "Those are the each cartridge didn't have a little serial number." It's like, you just have to come back with 15 of them. But it was like he couldn't fathom It's like, no. That ammo is the special depleted uranium security ammo. And that ammo that's just the practice stuff. Like, no, it's pretty much all the same. That's the one thing with the Marine Corps and the Navy and the Army. Pretty much, it's all the same. Now I know there's different kinds of 5.56 that they use, but when it comes to the pistol, it's all basically the same ammo. I mean, they're not issuing you Hydra-Shocks. You don't get Hydra-Shocks unless you're in a special super secret unit. But if you're just regular conventional military, you get the regular old ammo. Mm-hmm. But he was just he couldn't fathom, like, what are you doing? I'm going to get in trouble because those dirty starting to corrode rounds. Oh, and P.S. If your rounds are corroding, don't take Brasso and clean them up. Just shoot them. Just shoot them. And my point is this: even if it looks brown and kind of crappy on the outside, as long as the primer's good, chances are it'll be fine. The primer's what you need to protect, and the primer will go bad before anything else. I mean, a bullet is a bullet, and a case is a case. There's actually only two things that are going to, quote, go bad on your ammo. The powder could get damp, but the chances of the powder getting damp pretty slim. What's going to happen if you expose your ammunition to the elements, the primer could go bad, and that's the problem you have. So how do we keep that from happening? How do we keep our ammunition? I went to the store. I took your advice, Paul. I went online, and I bought a case of whatever, and now I have a big brown box that's filled with a whole bunch of smaller boxes and little plastic trays and so on and so forth. Throw the trays away, throw the boxes away, get yourself an ammo can or 2 or 3 or 20, whatever. And the good thing about GI ammo cans is they are waterproof. They have waterproof seals. They have rubber seals in them, and they have the special latching mechanisms, easy for me to say, to keep the moisture out. Unfortunately, if you close the can up and the atmosphere is already in it, you could have moisture in the can already. Also, if you're getting them as surplus, depending on the age of the can and how it's been stored, that rubber gasket in the lid may have deteriorated. And if the rubber gasket in the lid deteriorated, you could get outside air, you could get moisture in your ammo can. Now, how does that happen? I don't know. I mean, how old is the ammo can that you bought? You're like, that's brand freaking new. It just came off the factory, off the line. Good. Rock on. You're good. Just throw one of those moisture desiccant, whatever they call it, packages in there. Desiccant packages. Throw it in there. You're good to go. There's a company called Z-Corr. It's capital Z, C-O-R-R. And they make storage bags for guns and ammunition and so forth. And I can tell you, I've been using them for a number of years, and I tested one out. I took a Kel-Tec pistol, a P11, and I put it into one of their weapon storage bags, and I put it in a go bag. I put it in a pack, and I left it in there in Biloxi, Mississippi for over 2 years. And I pulled it out after 2 years of being inside of a bag in a pack in Biloxi. It was flawless, spotless. It's like I just put it in there. Not one speck of rust was on it. And I said, okay, I'm a believer. Z-Corr actually started making the big, long silver rifle storage bags for the Marine Corps. When the Marine Corps was transitioning and they needed to store M16A2 rifles for long-term Connex box storage, they bought a buttload of these things, which was way easier for them than to cover all the metal parts in Cosmoline. I know an M16 is mostly plastic and aluminum, but there are steel parts that will rust and corrode. That's a great thing about modern technology is most of the stuff on your gun is corrosion-free. Z-Corr actually, in the last couple of years, they came out with something that's actually kind of cool, and I'm going to do an accompanying article that's going to go along with this. They have liners. They have ammo can liner bags, and they're blue in color as opposed to blue in sound. and they are moisture free. They keep the moisture and all the stuff off of your ammunition. Basically, you just take an empty, either a 30 millimeter, and if you guys don't know what that is, I'm sorry, 30 caliber, not millimeter, 30 caliber ammo can, which is the skinny ones, or a 50 caliber ammo can, which is where you get M16 ammo and M9 ball ammo and what have you. You empty them out. You put the liner in there. You put all the ammo into those, and you seal the bags just like a Ziploc. Fold it in, close the lid, and you're good to go. You could do that, and I think Z-Corp is saying right now per manufacturer spec that they're rated for 20 years as long as you take care of them. That's a long time. That's a long time. You know, if you put your ammo in a can and it's good for a few years, good to go. Now, I've been in this game for a long, long time. I've been playing this game. You know, Jared, I actually might have some ammo that's over 20 years old because I've been playing this game for more than 20 years, 20 plus. And you're like, well, I should have shot it up by now. Yeah, I know, that's true. I should have shot it up by now. I actually have ammunition for guns that I don't own anymore. I have flavors of ammo for guns that I don't even possess. But you never know when you're going to get another one.
Exactly.
You never know when you're going to get one of those. So if you're looking to store, and they have regular bags that are like the size of a big Ziploc. You can just put pieces, parts. Jared's going to go ahead and, because he's benevolent, he's going to put a direct link, an Amazon link into the show notes. So if you're interested and you want to pick one of these things up, you can just go to the show notes, click it, and it'll take you directly there. So you're welcome.
Yes, you are welcome. And as we talked about, I think it's been a whole week since we mentioned this, so I'll mention it again. The event calendar on Student of the Gun Facebook. Go to facebook.com/studentofthegun, and you can click on the events little tabby thingy. I guess that's a technical term.
The little tab
thingy.
thingy.
Just go to the Student of the Gun Facebook page, scroll down a little bit on the left-hand side. There will be a list of events. We've got 3 coming up. We've got that one that's this week.
Well, as you're hearing this, tomorrow we're going to be in Atlanta.
Now, remember to follow at Student of the Gun on Twitter, because we will be updating where we'll be. And obviously, if you're in the grad program, then I will be posting in the private group for you guys, because I know some of you are going to be there. We look forward to seeing you guys. In addition to that trip tomorrow in Atlanta, we will be taking a trip to the NRA in Louisville, and that is May 21st.
Yes?
Yes, I believe so, because the weekend after NRA is our Beyond the Band-Aid class.
That's
for
correct.
Members only.
For members only. The grad program Beyond the Band-Aid class.
Yes.